Hello, I thought I'd make a quick vlog. And the last time I tried to make a vlog, I think was at the beginning of the week. So around Monday, Sunday or Monday. And I was talking about Father Mike and Father John, and the vlog just, you know, disappeared. It did a disappearing act. And I was so frustrated at the time that I just didn't want to make another vlog. But I'm not frustrated anymore. I've had a chance to unwind and relax and, pray some more. And I feel very much, calm and happy. So I thought I'd go ahead and give it another shot and see about making another vlog. I won't be talking too much about Father John or Father Mike. So hopefully the vlog will go through. Let's see. I I'm gonna have a heavy duty. Well, should I say, you can say it? I'm gonna have a heavy duty financial responsibility coming up, and for every month, because I am now going to be required to pay my bills, and she won't have to pay her bills. She will always have enough. And enough to live. Well, so my men say, but we'll see. And we are serious about it. Yeah, so I am serious about it too. I mean, my sister, uh, my sister has to fix her plumbing and a couple other things in her house. So she passed on the bills, and she wasn't paying them. We were paying them, and Marissa will be fine. We are going to continue paying them. All right. And I have faith in Jesus. So, I don't make plans. I don't. And I'll just leave the bill paying right there. I have faith in Jesus that something will happen every month and it'll be okay. So I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to go on to, this is a tank top. Okay, this is a tank top. Anyway, and then I'm going to go on to say that my faith in Jesus has really helped me so much. I used to make plans. Like, I used to plan everything out, and I'd see way into the future. Like, okay, if I do this, then I could do this. And if this happens, I can do that. And then once this happens, if it happens, I can do this and that, and I would go on. And but they would always get my plans and mess them up, and so I make no plans anymore. I live according to Jesus's plan. So that's all I do. I live according to Jesus's plan, which means I don't make plans. I usually don't. Well, little plans like I'll go here, I'll meet you here, or I'll do this, or I'll be at your house on this day. But that's pretty much the extent of it, because any kind of plan I make that's good and would be happy for me gets ruined. It just gets ruined. So no more. I haven't made plans like that. Like, if I do this, then I'll be able to do this and do that, and this will happen, in a long time. Except one time recently when I was thinking about fixing the attic, but that was my fault. I shouldn't have thought about fixing up the attic. So, and it fell through. Obviously, it fell through. Um, but, uh, you know, just living according to Jesus's plan, I have been able to survive. I have been able to survive, and she's going to thrive. And hopefully, I will thrive. But I'm not complaining. because the odds were so stacked against me, and they still are. But I trust Jesus. I trust him completely. Completely. I trust Jesus with everything, and I'm not worried. I'm not worried. So I'll just say that. And I don't worry about too many things anymore. I used to be a worry wart. Like, oh my goodness, if I do this, like I left my cat in Houston and my neighbor was taking care of it. You know, she lived right next to her door was right next to mine. So she was able to come over and take care of the cat and feed it, clean the kitty litter, play with it, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, I left the cat and I came home to Cleveland for a week. And all I did was worry about the cat. I thought, oh my goodness, the cat's going to die. Something's going to happen. It might get out because it was an indoor cat. It might get out, or, you know, something will happen, and nothing happened. But that's the kind of things I'm worried about. I'm worried about everything, everything all the time. And now I don't. And now I don't. I'm not worried. I'm not worried because I know that in the end, everything will be okay because I trust Jesus. I trust and trust Jesus. And I have, can I say it? Yes, you can. I have finally been feeling at peace. I have finally. I was close to feeling at peace once again, but then my mother passed, and it took all these months to come to terms with it, you know. But I have come to terms with my mother's passing. I know that I'll never be able to pick up the phone again and call her and, you know, and just see how she's doing. And I know that I can't go visit her at the nursing home anymore, you know, or, you know, put some makeup on her and take pictures with her. I can't do that anymore. And, you know, I can't make a vlog and show you my mother and how cute she was or anything. I can't do that. But I can have her memories. And she was super duper cute. She was a super duper cute. And she was an awesome dresser. Oh my goodness, she loved fashion. She was into fashion. I still remember being a little kid and her taking me to the stores. I hated it because I would just sit there and she'd go through clothes so slowly and look at it, and then we had to go to the dressing room and try everything on, and I had to tell her, yes, I like it, mommy, or no, mommy. It was just so much. But um but I appreciated it when I grew up, you know, because I also love fashion. I do. I love fashion. I don't have the opportunity to dress well very often. So, I mean, but I do love fashion. So, you know, I like to watch people who dress well and just follow them and all that. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm over my mother's passing. I'm finally over it. Well, I'm not over it. I've come to terms with it. I've come to terms with it. You know, and I don't want to get into details, but there's other things involved with it. So, but such is life, and such is the way of people. Anyway, what else? What else? So, you know, I finally washed the dishes. I finally did laundry and folded it. I finally did a bunch of things. Finally, things I couldn't do because I just felt this huge, tremendous weight on me. And every time I tried, I would sit back down and be like, well, I can't. Why can't I? I want to do it, but I can't. And so, I feel a tremendous weight lifted off of me, And I just want to say, because I don't want to leave the topic of my mother completely without saying that I loved her very much. She was my sweet mom, and I loved her very, very much. From the time I was born until the moment she died. And I still love her. And I want to keep her memory alive. I love her. Anyway, so that's just that. Let's see, I had my sister mow her lawn, and she was a weed whacker on the weeds. I did that on Wednesday. No, not on Wednesday. On the weekend, last weekend. And then, that's about it. I've had nothing else going on. Nothing else, I have barely spoken to Father Mike and Father John. Barely, but they've been speaking to, I and Father Mike have been speaking to her in her subconscious nonstop. Well, thank you. You're welcome. But out loud and consciously, I barely spoke to them. I have barely spoken to them. But I don't know. And I'm not saying anything else because I don't want it to be deleted. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to end this vlog. And I'm going to say I hope everybody watching has a great evening tonight and a great day tomorrow. And things go your way. All right. Bye.